Coming up on this episode of Outlook TV.
Big Freedia at the Commodore.
Vancouver's Pride Legacy March. And much, much more. Hello and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay, and we're just sitting out here on the docks where I'm enjoying nothing more than having something large, hard, and metal between my thighs. And you're watching the Queer Magazine news show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast
to coast.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a retrospective episode this time. We're going to go back into our archives and find a whole bunch of drag stories for you.
Our first stop will be in Montreal, where Jimmy Moore did their 2018 show in October. Let's reminisce, Rebecca.
Montreal impersonator Jimmy Moore is celebrating 20 years in the industry this year. Jimmy Moore is a staple in the Canadian scene, and he is known for his impersonations of Madonna, Michael Jackson, and Tina Turner, amongst others.
I'm presenting the Blonde Ambition Tour, a show that I did 20 years ago actually to get known in the community, the gay village. And I remember at that time people were telling me, oh my God, you cannot do Madonna. People will get tired seeing you doing a Madonna all the time. And here we are 20 years later, still doing Madonna, and nobody complains about it. I consider myself a bit like a revolutionary in my own terms, because everybody right now is doing drag, and I'm the only one left in our province doing like professional impersonations per se. But I guess that when you stick to your guns, at the long-term period, you're getting more recognition than just going on with the flow. Like Madonna did, she never went with the flow. She created her own thing, so that's the most important thing she taught me. I've started loving Madonna. I was 13, and she was the first character I wanted to do. And I was 18 years old, and I started from nothing. Believe me, nothing. Michael Jackson is as popular, if not more, than my Madonna stuff. I love to do Michael, because Michael is all about the dance performance, and it's way more comfortable for me because I can dance in flat shoes and I don't have to hide anything. And but Madonna is like my true nature. I don't have to work to do her at all. I get on stage and I'm becoming her right away.
What would you say to kids that are into drag?
Stick to your guns, and there are going to be periods where you're going to be very popular, others people will hate you, then it goes back up. If you stay true to yourself, time is the best remedy for everything, but work is the key, because you can have talent, but if you don't work your craft, you won't get anywhere. Work is the key. Work for your dreams.
To learn more about Jimmy Moore, check out his website, jimmymore.ca. For Outlook TV, this is Ollie in Montreal.
Do I hear gunfire or cannons? Is that a pirate ship?
Oh my gosh! They're bringing in our next story, Rebecca!
Ooh, I hope they don't pillage and plunder.
Shiver me timbers.
Well, we had to close our doors for a few months. It left a lot of the community feeling isolated and stuck in their homes as with everyone else, and we didn't really have a safe space to go.
That's a pledge on your pancakes makes coronavirus pass, coronavirus pass, if it gives you gas.
Since COVID hit, it's been really difficult for performers to find stages to perform at, so a lot of us kind of went online where we could and did what we could that way. But we were very thankful that Twisted actually had been able to convert themselves to a restaurant and bring us back in. So during COVID, it was tough. It was tough to find, for a lot of us professional performers, to actually find work to keep us sustained throughout. So it was really difficult in the beginning. But we seemed to switch and make it work, which was really good.
Twisted Element's been here for 16 years. They had a kitchen the first 2 years, and it didn't work out that well the first time. They shut it down, and then for 14 years, the kitchen turned into a drag room of desolation. Now we've cleaned it up. We worked on it. We've buffed out the kinks, and it is nice working kitchen. We had a little birthday party here that we had some food at that I made. Well, it was just a club still. And then they asked me if I was interested to come on fully and make a menu and reopen the kitchen after that, because they just fell in love with my cooking, I guess, and my bright personality.
There's no vaccine, so try some Mr. Clean.
We currently have shows 5 nights a week. We're working on filling up those other 2 nights a week. We also have some all ages shows focused around brunch time on Saturdays, and then an adult brunch on Sundays. We're currently bringing in rotating guests from Canada's Drag Race. So this week we had Scarlett Bobo. Over the past few weeks we've had Priyanka, Boa, Ilona.
We do an all ages brunch every Saturday. This is only our second one. We just started doing it. We have so many all age performers in town. We figured they needed a venue. Before the pandemic, we had them going once a month, but now we're going to have them going once a week because we have so many youth performers out there. Try and get them on a stage.
It actually makes me get really emotional when we talk about the young drag performers, just because the support that you see in their parents' eyes and the love that you see, it's just that's what's going to change this world. It's going to make this such a better place for everyone to live in. It's been a complete 180, and it's really opened our eyes to the huge amount of support that we have from the queer community in Calgary, any community really in Calgary. We're able to offer live performances, live entertainment that's not really available right now in the world, and we do it safely, we do it correct, and we do it with a lot of love.
I think this pub restaurant format will continue long term, and as normalcy comes back and we are allowed to evolve into a nightclub again, I think that will be limited to a few nights a week, and this will be our main format.
So if you do school for cool,
It's time for us to take a little break now.
Oh, is it?
Too close.
Too bad.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
We're going to reset our time machine and go to something a little bit more current. We have a piece here on mental health during COVID-19 in the queer community. Put on by who, Rebecca?
Him.
Ooh.
Him.
We at Outlook TV have been wondering whether the coronavirus has had some particular mental health effects on members of the gay community. We're at the offices of the Health Initiative for Men, right here in the heart of the West End on Davy Street, to gain some more information about this issue.
Here at HIM, we have seen an increase in applications for counseling, particularly in the months of May and June. In March and April, we did not see any increase, and then in the mid of May, it just grew exponentially. We think it's related to the effects of the pandemic on queer men and how it's affecting their lives. Main issues that we receive from clients in their applications, and that's anxiety, depression, and loneliness. Also received reports from our community engagement team that older folks are feeling more isolated and more lonely, a lot of times because of the lack of access to certain technologies. Also, we have received reports from younger folks who may not have access to privacy at all in their spaces. We have received reports of folks who are less out, who have been having to live with their families. who may not be aware that they're queer, and that creating a lot of distress for them for not being able to have the freedom to connect with community or with services from their homes. A lot of what we hear in terms of the effect of the pandemic is people feeling hopeless, people feeling that things will never gonna be as they were. I think a process of mourning or loss of the previous spaces, previous opportunities to connect with other people. Take Time for Your Mind is our mental health portal. It's designed for queer men and queer men's needs. We have there resources for queer men who want to learn a bit more about maybe some of the things they're experiencing, maybe if they're experiencing anxiety or if they're experiencing anger or different issues. Outness.ca is HIM's new campaign that is called Outside In. It's basically a campaign to visibilize and include queer folks who may have different degrees of outness in their lives. We realize that a lot of folks are not out, for example, to their families, and that has impacted their ability to connect with services and community. We are offering not only remote counseling to work with counselors via phone or video, but we actually have allowed in-person counseling following COVID-19 prevention protocols at our Davie Health Center for now.
We'd like to thank Alvaro at the Health Initiative for Men for all his valuable information that he has shared with us. This is Albertus Roskam for Outlook TV.
Let's go back in time, back to when you could go to the theater or a club, like the Vogue.
Clutch your pearls, Rebecca, because this next one was a true piece of history. Trixie Mattel, drag star fandom, was in Vancouver.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Vogue Theater. We are here tonight to see Trixie Mattel and her North America tour, now with moving parts. Can't wait for you to see what she does.
If I see another stocking, Lord, I swear to God I'm walking, Lord. Daddy, don't make me fancy dance around.
You know how people say women don't wear makeup for men, they wear it for other women? I've heard that said a lot. I don't know if it's true. But in drag queens almost dress up for each other. Because drag queens, when we're trying to like stunt and do a reveal or whatever, they're kind of just more to impress each other. I don't think we really get in drag for the audience as much as we kind of get in drag for our own self-indulgence and to try to we want that moment where the drag queen goes, you look good, and you're like, oh really? Thanks.
The farther from my home, the more I wish it. The longer I've been gone, the more I miss it.
I've heard it described as this. I believe his name, there's a comedian named Drew Droege in LA, and he described the scene in Drag Race where the drag queens are all getting ready, talking about their lives. He described it as the part where everyone looks like they're in the musical Cats and they're talking about their dead moms, which is, there is something in when drag queens are halfway getting ready, they get very vulnerable. And that's when they all talk crazy about, who hit them or who divorced them or how many kids they have. So that's why that process seems longer.
I kind of got ready in a hurry tonight. Do I look okay? I'm like, ugh. I call this my ex-boyfriend makeup because it also, it got away from me.
If you tell me I have an hour, I'm like, okay, we'll get ready in an hour. But if I have like all day, oh my God, it's a process. There's a bubble bath, there's music, there's delivery, not DiGiorno's, It's like a whole ritual. But to me at this point, I'm like, okay, an hour.
It's... Oh my God, that is such a terrible laugh to have. I meet so many impressionable young youths, and they're like, Trixie, I've seen so many of your videos, I've started to laugh like you. I'm like, baby, I'm so sorry.
I felt really confident, and then I walked in, and it's sort of like if you go to your 10-year high school reunion and you see your bullies, you turn back into your 18-year-old pit bully self who's afraid. And so for me, it was really, really horrible and scary. Everybody who does Drag Race is always like, I love it, I wish I could do it every year. I'm so happy to never have to do it again. I am so, I'm not competitive. I hate being judged. I hate doing things I don't want to do. I'm happy I did Drag Race, but on All Stars the whole time I was just like, you never have to do this again. You never have to do this again. Over and over again.
Oh, really? Whatever it takes. If I hold out, this bitch knows it and everyone else sucks, okay? Degrassi, excuse me?
I love to play my guitar. I mean, that's also my hobby. Love that. I love to play PlayStation. I love to eat pizzas, whole pizzas. I've got a few Tamagotchis alive right now. That's pretty cool. I have a boyfriend, and when I see him, once a month, so too much. We see each other way too much. And then, what else do I like to do? I mean, it's sad but true. This is sort of my whole life. I work. There's no hours of the week. There's no punch in and out, But I like all of it. I like traveling. I like merchandising. I like writing the songs. I like writing the jokes. Right now, I'm workshopping my show, Skinny Legend, that will go on tour next year. So it's like, even though we're on city number 40 of Moving Parts, it's like I'm already working on next year's show, so.
I've been booking every city, looking sad, but looking pretty, looking lover, don't make me hit the road again.
In the off season this year, of course, I'm going to DragCon, New York. I always go to DragCon, and I'm kicking off DragCon with on September 27th in New York with a show called Two Birds, One Stone, where for the first time ever, I'm going to play with the band all the songs from all the albums. Very cool. And then I'm doing some one-offs of a show called Super Bowl Cut. That is a show of jokes and songs, and I wear bowl cuts the whole time. Because I work in an industry where I can base an entire program on a hairstyle, and nobody questions it.
To the bottle of my basket, will it answer if I ask it? Doing right or am I doing time? Doing right or am I doing time?
Woo-woo! Let's go back in time to when we had a visit from more drag royalty.
Ugh, I can't get enough royalty. We've got 2018 November with Bob the Drag
Queen.
That's right.
RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8 winner Bob the Drag Queen is playing here at the Vogue tonight in Vancouver. I'm about to go backstage to spill some tea with Bob right before she goes on stage.
I am a rebel, but yes, I'm so militant. Still I'm eligible for disabilities. I am psychotic, but there is no remedy. This is not figurative, this is literally.
What to expect from this show tonight? I think you'll be entertained. I think that you will be shocked. You will want more. And you will see a crazy black lady on stage. Whatever you do will change your anything. So even if I wasn't on Drag Race, my drag would have changed. Like Drag Race changes drag for people who aren't even on Drag Race. And if you're still doing the same thing you were doing years ago, then maybe it's time to, I don't want you to be able to leave here and say, I didn't get to see what I wanted to see. I'm gonna try my best to do all, DJ Mitch Freedia is gonna, in the instant, make one big super duper mix, and then I'm gonna perform them all for you right here on this stage. Let me get a good look at what free healthcare really looks like. Bring the house lights up. Who do you like, baby? Lauryn Hill. All right, let me get, maybe like doo-wop, that thing by Lauryn Hill. What do you want, baby? Ooh, some Dolly Parton. Yes, ma'am. It's not that it's important because I can do a show without interacting with fans too. But I find that I tend to be able to create comedy from situations happening around me, and is really in the moment, which makes it really fun for the audience to know that they're getting something specific just to them. I don't cater my material to young people at all. If young people find me, they find me by coincidence. And I think it's because I'm not talking down to kids, but also not just kids. Moms love me. There's a whole thing. A lot of moms really enjoy me for some reason. And maybe it's because I'm not pandering. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's honestly what it is. I think people think that kids are a lot more these you have to fragile, but kids are, they're fine. You know what I mean? And I think if you don't treat kids like kids, then you'll probably get more respect from them. What's coming up for me soon? Well, right now we're finishing out this tour, and then I'm hoping to start doing this show again in New York City. And then after that, I'm just working on these. I've been working more on my theater-minded projects. I'm trying to write some plays this year. My goal is to write 3 plays in 2019. That's kind of crazy, but I feel like I can do it.
Let's go.
I gotta say, honestly, I'm so grateful that Canada has received me with open arms and warm hearts and cold weather.
From the stage of the Vogue Theatre in Vancouver, this is Ollie for Outlook TV.
Give it up for Bob the Drag Queen!
It's time for us to take another little break. Nope, get off. My turn. Move, 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 move.
Summertime! Oh, showtime! You got us! Let's go! Gotta let me up there, bro. When they come out and throw it.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
Once again, we're bringing the time machine to a more modern time, where we have the Pride Legacy March.
It's sort of the Pride Parade that wasn't a Pride Parade.
It's when we're getting back to our roots, to the way that we marched before things got corporate.
Today is Pride Day here in Vancouver, but because of COVID-19, we're not having the usual large-scale Vancouver Pride Parade. However, there's a smaller grassroots Pride Legacy March that's going to happen. So happy Pride, Vancouver.
Well, a group of our retired board members and some volunteers were talking about how important it is to continue on with the work that has been done over the last 40 years. We completely respect the decision of Pride not to have a big party on the street. So therefore, we felt that in order to keep that momentum, our legacy rolling, that we had to have a small gathering, march down Davie Street, and say, we're still here. We can put on a mask, we can be socially responsible, but you can't keep us quiet.
COVID, there's no chance for a parade and no chance for sort of a presence on the street. And that was important. It's important to some of us, I guess. And so John Wojciech sort of floated the idea, and I said, how do I get on board? And that's how we ended up here today. So it's people who just want to make sure that people are aware that this is Pride Day in Vancouver and showing some colors and showing some noise.
Well, parades are celebrations or have a specific cause or a theme. When it comes to a protest, you're trying to highlight one specific idea. This year being a march, it represents everyone. We represent equal rights, we represent human rights, not for just anyone, but for everyone. We also want to make sure that nobody is excluded because this is very inclusive. I believe that there is an appetite out there for something that is not commercial, that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, where we can come together as a community and own our streets and voice our message.
When I first started being president, there was a debt to the city. And at that time, they questioned whether or not they would let the parade go forward unless the debt had been resolved. And I was met outside my workplace on the way to City Hall to defend this. And I think it was, I don't even remember the radio station or the TV station. They said, you know, what are you going to do if they say you can't have a parade? And I said, you know, we will always parade. And we will always parade. Small, big, we will always parade.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Prott at Vancouver Pride 2020.
Let's check back in with some more retro drag.
2018, November, Big Freedia was on the scene at the Commodore Ballroom, and things were bouncing for the Bounce Music Festival. Bounce with me, Rebex. I just called you Rebex.
Hey guys, it's Ollie and I'm here at the Commodore Ballroom. We're about to have a chat with Big Freedia about politics and music before she walks on stage on the Commodore Ballroom.
Showtime! Summertime! Oh, Oh, showtime. You got to. Let's go. Gotta be a bad bro when they come out and throw it.
Right now, in the time that we're living in, is important for people to be themselves and to live their best life. And you know, I do that through my music. I give my message through my music. I live freely without being apologetic about anything that I want to do, who I love, who I choose to be. And I just want, you know, my people and my followers to do the same. And that's what's been happening, you know, lately. There's a lot of work put into the album, a lot of hard work, and a lot of people who helped to make this album what it is. And being on the label has the benefit of having an army of people that can get out there and put the music out. So it is a better branding. It's more power, more manpower behind the whole project. And the album has reached really far. This has been my biggest album thus far. I mean, Black Lives does matter, and it's important for us to keep getting the message out there. But it's also important for us as Black people to stop hurting each other and to, you know, live our best lives and, you know, stop all the hatred that's going on in the world. It's just uncalled for nonsense, and a lot of it can be resolved if people talk issues out.
You were the voice in Beyonce's video and in Drake. How was that impactful in your career?
You know, it took me to the next level. I'll also be able to get some of the Beehive fans over to my side of my world, and also Drake's fans to my side of my world. So it's all great, you know, cross promotion, cross collaborating, and I was excited for both of those individuals to work with me on their projects. It's definitely being free and all about freedom and expression and dancing and having a good time.
From the Commodore Ballroom at the Big Freedia concert in Vancouver, this is Ollie for Outlook TV.
That is all the time we have for this hybrid episode of the Back in Time and the Current. Dun dun dun, but we'll be back again, currently, very soon.
And in the most immediate, instantaneous future, you can connect on the internet, because it's always there unless your power's out. So find us on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or Grindr or Squirt or Scruff or... Is there anything else out there?
No, you've named them all. Things we're not even on, you've named.
I know. Find us on the internet. Volunteer with us. We need people across Canada.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay.
Stay safe, Canada.